welcome to Denver, Colorado football fans. A great look at Empower Field here in Mile High Stadium. Today, a pair of rivals from the AFC West. It's the LA Chargers and the Denver Broncos.
2026 Denver Broncos.
To kick off, here's Will Lutz. And off we go from Denver. Darius Davis to return it. And he's brought down just beyond that 25-yard line. But now out comes the Charger offense for their initial drive of the game. They're led up by the sixth-year pro out of Oregon. Productive his entire career so far. You and I are both big fans of this guy, Justin Herbert.
Herbert's one of these rare quarterbacks that when he is on, he makes this game look effortless and easy. Part of it's his throwing motion that's crisp and clean with great power. And it's also an athleticism. He'll make you pay with his legs, too. Man, he is just a joy to watch.
Now run here with Amari on Hampton. And they try to power it forward, but only a couple of yards there.
I don't think that's the amount that they were looking for there, Kate. Going to lead to some shuffled around here in the playbook. One more aggressive call on second.
Second and 7.
Last run got him 3. Here's 2nd and 7. On the counter, it's Hampton. And once again, he doesn't manage much before getting brought down. He musters up 3 yards on the run. That sets up 3rd and 4.
A 3-yard gain.
Hey, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet. But if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
Herbert now to throw on 3rd. Deep behind the line. Oh, the ball is out. Oh, the Broncos get to this one. Well, it was a very positive play to scoop up that fumble, but boy, he paid the price. He's hurt on the play and receiving some attention now. Broncos to the line now. It's 1st and 10. They run it. Here's R.J. Harvey. They have him gain up a handful there. Sent to the ground by Khalil Mack.
Cool thing about a drive starting run like that, Kate, is it really just gives you every opportunity in the playbook, whatever you want to do. But as for me, I like to reward that runner. Give it to him again and see if he can get you a new set of downs.
First down run gets him 6. So now it is 2nd and 4. Shotgun snap to Nix. That one falls to the turf. Couldn't hang on. It's incomplete.
Intended for R.J.
Adam Brock throw was on target. Got to help your guy out early in the game, right?
Yeah, it's not on the quarterback. I think we can all see that. That was a catchable ball. But I've got a feeling he'll volunteer to take some of the blame anyway. That's just the way he's wired.
No connection on the last play. Now it's 3rd down. Nix from the gun. Is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact.
Intended for Evan.
Working across the middle block, it is tough for anybody to make plays through all that mess, even when you're the biggest and baddest pass catcher on the roster.
But as a tight end, you're going to be disappointed because that's what you're paid to do. It's one thing for those undersized receivers you talk about. It's another one for these big tight ends. You are paid to make that catch through contact, and he couldn't do it.
And this one had a brief chance, but not a good kick in the end. He misses it. And we continue to await our opening score of this ball game.
You would think the kickers should be automatic from anything inside of 40 yards, but I guess that could serve as a little gentle reminder you can never take any kick for granted. So many things have to go right each time for it to be up and good.
First call here coming from the shotgun. They've got a man in motion. On the play fake, it's Herbert. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete.
Oh, that drop is such a bummer because it ruins the payoff of such a well-designed play, Kate. Got the man open, beat the coverage, but then you got to go finish it. You got to go make that catch. I will say, keep that one in mind. They can revisit that play in the future.
It's Hampton on second. He gets forward, and that's about 4 yards. Alex Singleton makes the tackle.
When you don't have great success on first down, Kate, it's a little bit like a hitter in baseball falling behind in the count. And all you want to do as a hitter is get back to a fighting chance. Give yourself a better count. That play, well, it does the same here. Now a much more manageable and opportune third down situation.
On third down, Herbert. And he let his man too much there, Brock. Incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
You and I know, Kate, it's on average about 60 to 65 plays a game, somewhere between 10 and 12 third downs. And what you don't want to do is start 0 for 2 in that column.
So on fourth down, here's J.K. Scott on to punt it away for the Chargers. And this doesn't just reach the end zone. He kicked that one all the way through. It's for a touchback. So the Broncos headed out for their second drive of the game. And no doubt still some disappointment internally, at least, after their last drive ended empty-handed following that missed field goal. All right, working from the gun to start. First and 10. Out of the gun, it's Nix. And this one too far in front of him. It's incomplete.
Kate, I think that's a little taster, a little entree of what's to come for this wide receiver. He's going to have to make some plays into some contested coverages, and he couldn't do it right there.
I'll try again from the 20 after the incompletion. Second down, give to Harvey. We'll have a small 4-yard chunk there. Tackle made by Elijah Molden. We get a stoppage here. One of their big blockers up front. In some pain following that play. He's being attended to. So now here's 3rd and 5. Throwing here, Nix. It was there, but he couldn't hang on. That's incomplete. Gonna have to wait a little longer for his first catch of the game. And that leaves them with 4th and 5.
You know, Kate, you'll get a little bit of grace for a drop in the first frame. But that's one, as this game goes on, he's got half. It's hard on third down to execute. With the ball in your hands, you got to find a way to catch it.
And this one never had a shot. It's well over the goal line and the end zone entirely. That'll be a touchback. Out comes the offense now for the Chargers. And it's far from the first time we're seeing this unit head out, Brock. But what we haven't seen so far in this opening half, well, we haven't seen much in terms of yardage.
You know, it's like they've written a few lyrics, but nowhere close to a song yet.
Chargers getting set. 1st and 10. Here's Hampton to open the drive. And some excellent work to drive them all the way up past the 30-yard line. It's a pickup of 14 yards as the chains reset.
Well, more often than not, it's the passing game that's asked to go from first down in just one play. Get that big play potential on the ground. Jeez, it just infuses your offense with confidence.
First down, and they go right back to it. And they'll surrender just a lone yard. That brings up 2nd down. Following the run, we see he's still out there dealing with some sort of injury. They'll head out to check on him. Following that little 2-yard run, it's 2nd and 8. Herbert from the gun. That one falls incomplete, but our attention's still behind the line. He got cleaned after that throw and drew the instant flag. So the offense still moving forward as roughing the passer overrules that incomplete pass. Roughing the passer on that last play, and that's always going to lead to an automatic first down. Running it after the penalty. Some good running here as he gets him 7 on that first down carry.
Well, that doesn't net a first down. You get yards like that in the run game, you will take it in the NFL.
2nd and 2 at the Broncos' 41-yard line.
Nice run last play. Sets up 2nd and 2. Gives now to the running back. And they bring him down around the 34. That one gains 7. And that's going to be good for an LA first down.
And the Chargers first down. First and 10.
That result right there is why coaches all across all levels of football on defense talk about good, solid tackling, Kate. It's not just to hear themselves talk. It's to make sure that when you can bring a guy down, you're able to and keep them from piling on those yards.
They bring him down, but not before he advances it all the way to the 20. We'll pause now for an injured player, and it looks like he's worse for wear after handling that last carry. A first chance inside the red zone for the Chargers. They've got 1st and 10 right along the 20. Looking inside the red zone. Has him on the quick hitter. And he's able to get this down to the 13.
Complete to
Hey, you like these results on first. That completion right there, right in the window where all options are now available to you on 2nd down. That playbook wide open.
2nd and 3 now. Working from the gun here, it's Herbert. That one's incomplete over the middle. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Drive has gone 8 plays now as they face 3rd and 3. Shotgun snap to Herbert. And this is going to be good for a Los Angeles touchdown. The Chargers take a 6-0 lead in the first quarter. It's a Keenan Allen touchdown. Well, they definitely wanted to get that one out quick, Brock. They did just that, and it ends in 6.
We hear it all the time, but it is so true, Kate. This is a game about matchups. And when you see a throw that quick, it really was determined pre-snap. It was great design and tremendous execution.
Now it's Cameron Dicker on for the extra point. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Chargers will jump out to a 7-0 lead.
Broncos nothing.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away. Here's R.J. Harvey on the return. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. The Broncos running their offense out once again. And Brock, these guys are still searching. They are still searching for their first points, but beyond that, they don't even have a first down yet.
Not even one?
No, they're still searching. I know. All right, Denver getting everybody set, so they've got 1st and 10. First play in the drive. Here's Harvey. And this drive's quickly headed in the wrong direction. First play sat down behind the line. Now, after battling on that run, we see one of their linemen appears to be injured and in need of some attention. Gave away a couple on the first down run. Now it's going to be 2nd and 12. Nix now to throw. Out to his wide out, it's a screen. This one up to about the 27-yard line. Cam Hart's up for the tackle that time.
It's a gain of 3.
How's your block shedding out there, boys? Because they need to get through some blocks to hang that screen up quickly. And they were Johnny on the spot.
So a tough spot now. This is 3rd and 9. Throw here, 3rd down. And this one's dropped for what would have been a nice game. Had that one, but just couldn't see it through. And that brings up 4th and long.
4th down.
In real estate, Kate, it's location, location, location. In football, it's rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. And you don't get 3rd down conversions, you get no rhythm.
Jeremy Crawshaw on to punt. And that's well into the end zone, so a missed chance to stick them near the goal line. Instead, they're going to have the ball at the 20. Possession switching back to the LA offense as they head out. And their goal is going to be doubling that 7-0 lead they have so far. LA bringing the offense to the line. Here's 1st and 10. Right up the gut. And he's brought down as the drive starts out for the 4-yard gain.
It's one of those sneaky little runs, Kate, that gets you enough yards to create some doubt into that defensive coordinator. You could stick to the ground. You could throw beyond the sticks. You really create some indecision now defensively.
So gain of 5 on that first down. Let's see if they can repeat that performance now here on 2nd. Herbert now off the play fake. Catch made left side by McConkey. And he's out of bounds. Defenders get there to drive him out right near that 40-yard line. That'll go for an 18-yard gain. And that's going to give the Chargers the first down.
If they get a handful of these types of plays per game, pass game coordinator is going to be one happy camper.
First down from the 42. Back to throw. Here's Herbert. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete.
That's a throw at this level. So much speed and length, you got to be real careful. Rarely do you find a clean window down the middle. That'd be absolutely perfect, and it wasn't there.
2nd down, still 10 to go after that incomplete pass. Running with Vidal out of the gun. And it's a nice game, but they need just 1 more yard to move the chains. 6 yards to pick up there. That's going to bring up 3rd and 4.
That's a run that you'll take the result in the NFL every time. A nice play, a solid game, but it's also a run that you know, and you may come back to, because if you were that close to breaking off an explosive one, you really break the backs of the defense.
From the gun on 3rd, it's Herbert. Completed over the middle. And he'll be brought down after getting to the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there.
4 yards.
And that's going to be good for an LA first down.
First down.
Well, the completion rate is strong, partner. The yards, you got to imagine, will start to come soon enough.
You never go broke taking a profit. And you know this one too, Kate. The crumbs always lead to...
Oh, the cookie. Brought in right side. And he's short of the first after a mild gain. Well, the good part is he did bring that play to a stop. Unfortunately, looks like he got banged up on the tackle. He's in some discomfort out there. Offensive line. This is 2nd and 4. Out of the shotgun. They'll give it to him inside. And he's able to get this down to the 36. Pick up a 5 on that play. And that's going to give the Chargers a first down.
That's another.
Well, looky here. You don't even have to worry now about a third down call as that run moves the sticks. Now that call you had ready, though, you can recycle it. Save it for later for that next third down coming.
Going to the ground again on first. And he comes through big here. 9 yards and 2nd down.
So much to like about that run, Kate, particularly what he was able to get out of it. The defense, it feels a little fortunate they were able to track him down before an even bigger run and crossing that first down marker.
Less than a ruler needed here on 2nd down. They give it to him again. And his short gain gets them a new set of downs. Now after the run, we see he's visibly shaken up. Team medical staffers headed over to take a look. Coming to the line for another 1st and 10. This one delivered off target, Brock. That's incomplete. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. Another try from the 25. It's 2nd and 10. Back to the air, Herbert. And back-to-back passes that should have been intercepted. 2 great chances to take it away. Both of them dropped, Brock, and now they stay out there for 3rd down.
You know what that route is called, right, Kate? OTB, over the ball. And those are the ones you've got to hit. You've got to be able to play offense from the inside out. You've got to find a completion right there.
And they knock away another one. 3 straight passes, Brock, failing to connect. That brings us to 4th down.
You know, I say this all the time. You get down there to the red zone, and things happen so fast. Those windows close in a hurry. Quarterback's fortunate that was one hand and not 2 hands that got on the football.
So on 4th down, on comes Cameron Dicker and the Chargers for a field goal try. This 42 yards from the right hash. Dicker connects there. And that one was hit great. It sails on through without incident.
It's fed to the kicker, man. That is a coach's best friend. Saves him so much stress to have a guy he can really trust to go out and hit it from that distance consistently. Because from that far out, no kick is a guarantee.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away.
For the Chargers.
Marvin Mims now to return it. And he's brought down just beyond that 25-yard line. The Broncos offense all set to go. And they're still looking for their first signs of life on offense. Haven't even been able to get a first down off this defense just yet. All right, starting in the pistol this time, Brock. 1st and 10. Give to Harvey here from the pistol. And it looks like they're giving about 2 on the opening play of this drive.
That's the kind of yardage that's not going to kill this drive on the first play, but it does put you a little bit behind schedule. Now, 2nd down becomes critical because nobody wants a 3 and out.
Need a better result than that last run. It's 2nd and 8. Staying on the ground here with Harvey. And once again, he doesn't manage much before getting brought down. A couple yards on the run. It's 3rd and 6 now.
I think one thing you learn, Kate, when you transition from college to the NFL, not every run is going to be a big play. Some of them, well, they're just destined to end in a minimal gain, and some of them will set up that critical play action for later.
On 3rd down, here's Nix. That one finds his man, Ingram. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
A 7-yard gain. That's good for a Broncos first down.
You know, Kate, they say a dog is a man's best friend. Well, a tight end that moves the chains on 3rd down, that's a QB's best friend.
They'll run here on 1st down. Get some space around midfield. And they're going to bring him down just after he crosses the 50. They'll get 14 yards and a new set of downs.
That's another Broncos first down.
It really is pretty simple. If you want to run against a 3-4 group right up the gut, number 1, got to control that nose tackle. Number 2, you got to get people to the 2nd level. That was teaching tape.
Short pass brought in. He's forced out of bounds after a gain of about 4 there. 2nd down.
There's no negatives ever on a grade sheet for a completion, but that's one of those situations. If you're going to take a risk and throw an out route, you'd sure like to see a little bit more yardage gained.
This is 2nd and 6 coming up. Here's Nix. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete.
Intended for Evan
that drop
Ingram.
ruins the payoff to a well-designed play. They got a man open and beat the coverage. That's a call they can revisit in the future with hopefully a much better job finishing the catch.
7th play of the drive. They've been moving it well. This is 3rd and 6. 3rd and long. They're going to throw. And that one hits the deck. No fear from them trying to go deep on 3rd down. You love that. Don't love the fact they couldn't connect. 4th down coming up.
Kate, you know I talk to you all the time about these money downs and 3rd downs and the plan you got to have. It's kind of like a manufacturing plant. You've got to manufacture open looks, and that time, the plant was closed.
And he's had a very busy game already, Brock. 3rd time they've called on him as he gets this away. So this one goes out of bounds inside the 20, but not by much. They're giving him the 18-yard line. Now L.A. getting its offense all set to go. And the last drive did end in points. Not as many as they wanted, though. They had to settle for that field goal despite advancing the football pretty well. L.A. offense all set. Here's 1st and 10. The play fake. Now Herbert to throw. That one's incomplete. Had the connection, but some stone hands got in the way there. Couldn't make the connection. Was looking for Lad McConkey. So it's 2nd down coming up.
You know, I'm not sure if he was hearing footsteps or just had a surprise break in concentration. So unusual to see one dropped unless there's a hit involved.
Blown back in the backfield, and he gets the handoff. He locates a couple of yards through that chaos. In on the tackle was Jonathan Cooper. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. Third down, they need 7. To the air on 3rd and long. This is cut downfield by Allen. The stop is made as he drives this to the opposing 43.
It's a gain of 35
on the pickup. And that's going to be good for an LA first down.
It's a gain of 35. First down, Los Angeles.
You know, Kay, we often talk about flipping the field in special teams, right? A kick return, a good punt. Well, an explosive play like that does the exact same thing. Look at the difference in field position. By hitting on that shot, you've totally flipped the field and the tone of this drive.
On first down, they'll run. Oh, he put him in the spin cycle. And they're going to stop him after he gets this to the 26. Now we see he's in some pain after making that tackle. Team personnel out now to take a look at him. So a new set of downs. Here we go. 1st and 10. Back-to-back carries here. And they finally stop him, but not before he picked up 7 on that first down run. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. Last run got him 7. Here comes 2nd and 3. Another carry for him. And they bring him down after what he thought was a great game, but officials are saying he had some extra help. He got a flag down. I think this might be a hold, partner. A game they were pretty happy with goes away via the penalty. And now we're going to wait to see how they respond. So this is going to be 2nd down and long following the holding flag. Herbert with a blitz coming. And it looks great flying through the air, Bronk, but problems on the business end as it falls to the ground. 3rd down coming up.
I think if you look up in phase in the defensive encyclopedia, that is a picture-perfect form of it. He was all over him in coverage, really forcing the incompletion.
Last pass unsuccessful. Let's see what they do on 3rd down. 3rd and long for him here. Lobs this deep down the middle. And he's going to have a Los Angeles touchdown. The Chargers got the 16-point lead in the first.
Los Angeles.
Quite the strike to his tight end, and the patience he showed waiting for that to break open. That was awesome, and it's rewarded with 6.
You know, it should be simple, Kate, right? In philosophy, it should be simple. Just plaster that big guy. Throw bodies at him in coverage, but stopping a tight end near the end zone is anything but simple with how deceptively good they are as route runners and finding that football when it arrives.
Dicker on now for the PAT.
For the extra point.
Extra point set right down the middle. And the Chargers take a 3-possession lead.
17. Broncos nothing.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away.
The Chargers.
Harvey now to return it. And a decent run back is going to end as they bring him down inside the 30. So here comes the Bronco offense. And this certainly isn't the rut they want to be in, Bronc. All of their drives have been ending in punts as of late. Broncos to the line now. It's 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Nix. That one falls to the turf. Couldn't hang on. It's incomplete.
I'm not sure if he was hearing footsteps or he just had a surprise break in concentration. It's so unusual at this level to see a drop pass unless there's a hit involved.
2nd and 10, still at the 28. Nix from the gun. Dropped quickly on the slant. And he's tackled after gaining a handful.
Good luck defending that short yardage slant. Just not going to happen. There's a reason. This is a go-to play for just about any quarterback in every situation.
Here they go, getting set for 3rd and 4. Here's Nix to throw. Making the call himself. Makes his hit. He lost that football. And it's scooped up by the Chargers. They get a little extra on top of that fumble recovery as they take possession. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. All set to go now from the 35. Out of the gun, they'll give it to him inside. Nearly starts the drive with the first down run. Stops a yard short, gain of 9.
That is just a great drive starter. What every offense wants. Gives you a little bit of energy, a little juice, and now a really manageable 2nd down.
First down carry got him 9 yards. Here comes 2nd and 1. Too much lead on that throw. That falls incomplete ahead of his target. No luck finding his receiver that time. And now it's 3rd and short.
They would sure love to connect on some of these intermediate throws, those chunk throws. Getting a completion like that, well, not only does it spark your offense, but it just sets you up for even more aggressive play calling.
Trying to sneak, it's Herbert. They sent him right up the gut, but he wasn't able to get anywhere. The defense braced for impact, and they made the stop. It's 4th down. So on 4th down, on comes Cameron Dicker and the Chargers for a field goal try. Made his first one. This is a little over 40. Dicker connects there. And that will add to their score.
I'm going to give a little credit to their defense right there, Kate. Sudden change situation. Your offense fumbles, and you've got to find a way to hold them to a field goal, and they just did.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away. Harvey now to return it. Pretty solid field position starting out here, Brock. He's tackled at the 29. Denver set to take the field on offense. And their defense held up after that fumble. Only gave up 3, so time for this offense to make it up to them. Get some points of their own. right, Denver getting everybody set, so they've got 1st and 10. It's Harvey straight ahead. This is ahead for about 5. Stopped by Deion Henley.
You know, Kate, that might be a little bit of a disappointing run to him. He wanted more. They always do. But that's exactly what they were after offensively to get this drive moving.
Run picks up 6, so that means it's 2nd and 4. Harvey hit behind the line. That ball's loose. Picked up by the Chargers. And they'll take over a little further upfield thanks to that return. So he made the stop on the fumble return, but he paid the price for it. He's hurt on that play. He's going to need to get looked at to see what's wrong. Chargers getting set. 1st and 10. They're going to throw now, following the turnover. It was there, but he couldn't hang on. That's incomplete. Was hoping to get that one to Keenan Allen. And it sets up second down
and 10.
Hey, listen, drops happen in football, even from the best at every level. Nothing more to do but shake it off and move forward, because the next throw might be right back your way.
They'll try something else from the 27 this time. 2nd and 10. Lone back gets the handoff. And this is going to get them all the way into the red zone. He's taken down at the 13-yard line. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. They keep this drive moving, partner. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to the well again. And a couple of teammates combining there for the stop after just 1 yard.
Taken down.
It'll be this group's job watching the film to find all these plays. The ones that amount to really very little statistically, and identify what was needed to just make them a little bigger, stretch them further. Afterthought plays now, they could be the big gains of next week.
Shotgun snap. They'll throw. Brings it in. And this one does not go far.
Well, that's a modest little drag route. But if you ever just need a safe, short gain on the throw, that's a go-to route to target.
About set. This is 3rd and 5. Herbert from the gun. Too much on that, and it sails through the end zone, incomplete. So that play doesn't work out, but things make it even worse for them. Looks like one of their big guys out front is in need of a look from the training staff. So on 4th down, on comes Cameron Dicker and the Chargers for a field goal try. This only a chip shot from the right hash. Dicker connects there. And they come away with some points on that series.
Give him the first half trifecta. He's 3 for 3 on field goals. And as much as they'd like 6 points to end drives, not 3, they can at least be happy they're getting consistent looks inside field goal range, and he's delivering.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away. Harvey now to return it. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line.
Take over first and
the Broncos and running back R.J. Harvey. They're ready for their next drive. This would be a good time for their first points of the game as they find themselves down a notable amount already in this opening quarter. Offense into the shotgun set as they line this up. 1st and 10. Running back gets it on the draw. Drops by the first guy he met. No gain on that first down run.
Absolutely no fear in his game. Even one of the smaller defenders out there isn't afraid to go charging into all those linemen and dish out some physical play himself to make that stop.
First down run netted him nothing. Here is 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, it's Nix. In trouble now, and the ball is out. And it's scooped up by the Chargers. Buttoned up pretty well after that fumble, but they are still going to take over in the red zone. Oh, man. Yet again, Brock, an inability to hang on to the football. I'm just going to guess might be working a little harder on ball security next week. 3rd straight series they put it on the turf. Yeah,
maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Any day that ends in Y, you're probably going to do it because this is incredibly frustrating to not hold on to the football. It's left them searching for answers that I'm not sure anybody has right now.
This is our last play of the quarter. There's a dive up the middle. And he'll get him a handful on that run as we've reached the end of the first. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. It's the end of the first in this AFC West showdown. Not looking good. It is 23-0. We'll get you back to Mile High after this. Chargers ball as we get back for the second, and they are thinking points. Running for Parker on second. And we might be close to this lead growing again. That play gives him a 1st and goal.
Hey, Kate, you want to see a picture in the football dictionary of staying on schedule? That was it.
1st and goal, Los Angeles.
This offense in position now. It's 1st and goal. Herbert now, blitz coming. And he's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. The Chargers capitalize on the turnover and add to their lead. Led McConkey with a touchdown. No hesitation on that throw. He got the guy he wanted right away, and he got it to him for the touchdown.
You know, it's great, Kate, to draw plays that have all sorts of different options, but it's even better when you don't have to get to your second read. His first broke open just like they planned, and that's 6 in the end.
Dicker on now for the PAT.
For the extra point.
The point after splits the upright. And the Chargers grow their lead yet again.
Chargers 30, Broncos nothing.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away. On the return, here's Mims. He stopped on the run back at the 27. Denver ready for another offensive possession. And this drive, they need to come up with some type of answer because, well, Brock, we can almost hear those engines starting to gear up. They might have a boat race coming.
Yeah, I think everybody in the building can feel it. This has been so momentous one way, and as a competitor, you have got to stop that slide.
Loading up on the left. It's going to be trips to that side. Here's 1st and 10. First play of the drive. Here's Harvey. They blow up the opening play of this drive. Love the aggressiveness from this defense. So some immediate revenge for that last play, Brock. I don't know. What do you think? Is it going to take away the pain from giving up that big run the prior play?
Not necessarily, because it really does take a group failure to give up a big run like that in the NFL, but it also takes a whole lot of teamwork to knock them behind the sticks. Job well done there.
To throw, here's Nix. Finds him over the middle. And they'll take him down after he advances this up to about the 43. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. First and 10 from the 43. Nix looking to throw. That'll be incomplete to start the new set of downs. Trying to find his tight end. So that brings up 2nd down.
It's now 2nd
Safe
and
to say
10.
there's been an early disconnect between the planning phase and the execution phase for this offense. Might be time, Kate, really to get back to basics, to the calls that you just trust the most.
2nd down, give to Harvey. And a decent run gets about 4. It's going to be 3rd down.
You make that call to just give yourself a fighting chance on 3rd down, Kate. Take at least a little bite of the big meal between them and the 1st down marker. And that should make this upcoming call a little less daunting.
Chargers sending out a dime look here ahead of this 3rd down. Air it out on 3rd. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete. Tried getting it to Cortland Sutton. And it's 4th down.
That one really stings, Kate, because you want to convert there and not only keep this drive going for points, but because now you're giving your opponent a chance to go pad that lead before halftime. That's a no-no.
Here comes the Broncos punting unit. I guess he didn't really quite know his own strength there. That kick cleared the end zone entirely. It's going to be a touchback.
20-yard line.
The Chargers back out on offense. Their running back headed out once again. And they were not blessed with the short field they got on their prior drive. This one is a world away as they begin deep on their own side. First look, a little pistol formation as they come to the line. 1st and 10. Still now from the pistol. Can't slip that initial tackle. Stops made for no gain on that 1st down play. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. Back to the line they come, 2nd down. Working from the gun here, it's Herbert. Dump off Popeye's back. And he's tackled for no gain.
That's a defense's goal, right, Kate? Just get us to 3rd down so we can have a chance to get off the field. And that was a good adjustment on that stop in particular, when the back ended up being the target, and they were able to keep him short of the sticks.
3rd and 10. Can this offense get it done? Throw here, 3rd down. Into the hands of Conklin. And he'll get it up to the 27.
You can earn your money in the NFL in all sorts of different ways, but defensively, in a league where you're just not hitting as much in training camp, you're not tackling as much as they got to in the old days, and you can make a play in the open field, keep it short like that, I promise you some money will follow.
So once again, J.K. Scott out to punt it away. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards the Charger, who's still on the field and in some pain.
20-yard line.
Broncos to the line now. It's 1st and 10. Now Nix. Walking the tightrope there, but he makes the grab and bound.
Complete to number 1.
I know I can sound like a broken record when I talk about timing and getting the ball out on time and on rhythm, but these outcuts, it is so imperative, and the best of them make it look oh so easy.
2nd and 3 now. Nix. It's incomplete. Should have been a catch downfield, but off his hands and to the ground it goes.
Incomplete.
Cortland Sutton, the man he was after. And now they'll face a 3rd and 3.
Hey, listen, drops happen in football. It is a part of the game, even for the very best. Nothing more to do about it now than shake it off and move forward, because the next throw might be coming right back your way.
And they can't connect on the 3rd down deep shot. Love the courage they had to try it, but it's incomplete, and now we've got 4th down.
The numbers tell us pretty clearly, you get to 3rd and long, extra long, it's really hard to stay on the field. That's disappointing, because that was 3rd and manageable and it's incomplete.
Jeremy Crawshaw out once again, punting away. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers, who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. LA bringing the offense to the line. Here's 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, it gives to Vidal. And he's able to manage a couple on that run. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. After the 3-yard pickup, it's 2nd and 7. Shotgun snap to Herbert. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. LeBron, this substantial deficit sure hasn't toned the edge that this defense is playing with, huh? If anything, feels like they might be getting more aggressive, looking to make some sort of impact play.
And that's because turnovers are really the name of the game for this defense at this point, Kate. That aggressiveness still super welcome, no question. But they know it's not just incompletions, it's taking the ball away that's next.
Setting up the running back screen. And they will finally catch up to him just a second before he could reach that 40. It's a pickup of 14 yards as the chains reset.
This dude's just simply got a nose for the marker no matter how they get him the ball. Hand it to him, and he sniffs out that 1st down. Get it to him on a screen, and it's no different. He surges ahead and keeps this drive moving.
Right up the gut. Let's attack. He's still going. And they're going to bring him down just a moment before he's able to break it across midfield. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Here's 1st and 10 from the 47. On the play fake, it's Herbert. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose, incomplete. He was looking Keenan Allen's way there, so it'll be 2nd down. They were looking for him again, Brock, and for a moment, we thought he had another catch, but then that contact knocked the football from his hands.
Kind of become a victim of his own early success. Not too different, Kate, than a pass rusher that gets a sack. You know what happens? Got to slide to him, got to chip to him. You get a receiver that gets it going like this, you know more contact and more focus is coming his way.
And he's brought down right in the neighborhood of that 40-yard line. Following that completion, remember the O-line looks to be in some pain. They're headed out to take a look at him now. So fresh set of downs now from the 39. Running it now out of the gun. Makes the tackle. And he's forced out of bounds after picking up about 7. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. After that little 8-yard scoot, here comes 2nd and 2. Out of the shotgun, they'll give it to him inside. A great call in a short yardage situation right there, Brock, and that was exactly the type of front that defense needed to have.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love the X's and O's of it, and then even more, the guys going out there and executing it, pulling the trigger to create that loss.
Leading 4 here on 3rd down. This is going to be the 9th play of this drive. Throwing now, Herbert. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. So on 4th down, out comes Cameron Dicker and the Chargers for a field goal try. This is a 50-yard look from the right hash. This will not connect. Not enough leg and too far left as well. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. Good starting field position for the Broncos as they get ready for 1st and 10. Shotgun handing out to Harvey. Oh, man, nothing for him again, Brock. It has been a struggle all game. This one's quickly mopped up, too.
Okay, the rough showing both individually and collectively continues with this run game. The fumble earlier, and now totally stuffed on that one.
Well, nothing doing on the last run. It's 2nd and 10. Here's Nix. That one falls to the turf. Couldn't hang on. It's incomplete. That's what he knows he should have had. So now it's going to be 3rd and long.
You know, the goal on a lot of these short throws is to simply let the receiver create some yards after the catch. That yak. Well, I think he was thinking about the yak before he actually secured the catch.
Empty backfield now. Running back motions out left. On 3rd down, here's Nix. Complete to Mims. And they're going to get to him right along that midfield stripe, Brock, as he set out. They get an even 10 on that play. And that's good for a Broncos first down.
First and 10 at the 50-yard line.
You know, they call that the money down for a reason, because you're just simply not going to last long in the NFL if you don't convert a good portion of your third downs. It's the money down. And nice to see them roll the dice and continue the series.
Ooh, he made most of that one, didn't he? Give him 9 yards on that first down carry. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Last run got him 9, so now they need one more here on second down. Staying on the ground here with Harvey. And their next snap is coming from that red zone as he reaches the 14. Now after that big run, looks like he's a little shaken up. Hopefully a big play isn't joined by a big injury. He's getting looked at now. Coming to the line for another first and 10. Working inside the red zone. It was there, but he couldn't hang on. That's incomplete.
You know, anytime you see a player tapping his chest, I'm not a great lip reader, but I know exactly what that says. My bad. My fault. Quarterback delivers him a good ball. He knows that's one he should have caught.
After the incompletion, they come up on second and 10. Throwing here, Nix. Throws caught. And he drives this forward to the 6.
It's not just imperative that a quarterback knows man or zone. Same thing for a receiver, especially on a drag route. When he sees zone coverage like that, just settle down, find the soft spot, and give your quarterback a chance.
8th play of the drive now. They need 2 to keep it going. Throwing now on 3rd and 2. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. Well-timed strike by that defender to knock it free. So they're going to have to evaluate things now on 4th and short.
That's one of those third down situations where you're asking an awful lot of your man to make a play to keep this drive going. Too much of a contested catch there, unable to bring it in.
Trying to push this past the marker. This one loses yardage and loses possession. He's stopped behind the line. They're turning this over on downs. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. LA offense all set. Here's 1st and 10. A play fake. Now Herbert to throw. And this one's incomplete. Too low as it skips off the ground. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. No luck on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10. Back to the air. Herbert. Had the window to go deep, but just couldn't make it happen. Now it's 3rd down.
They don't complete a high percentage of these, but even the incomplete deep shots serve a purpose. It keeps the defense honest, knowing if they overcommit close, they could get burned.
Defense nearing a stop. Need to hold once more here on 3rd down. Here he goes, 3rd and long. To the right, pulled in by McConkey. Decent gain here, but short of the first.
You know, I like the completion. You never turn down a completion. That's just not the right throw to make in that spot to move the chains.
The Chargers lined up in punt formation. The Broncos have Marvin Mims deep to return. And he's certainly been staying busy. Once again, he's out to punt and sends this flying. That one hits at the 6, but can't check up. It gets into the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos, the running back R.J. Harvey. They're ready for their next drive. They passed on the field goal, didn't get it on 4th down. Interested to see what they do if a similar situation arises on this next possession. All right, Denver getting everybody set. So they've got 1st and 10. Giving this to Harvey. He'll knife his way through for a pickup of 4.
That is simply a stay on schedule kind of run. Nothing more, nothing less, just right on schedule.
2nd and 6.
Four yards on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 6. Nix from the gun. Dumped off to his running back. Excellent play defensively as they get to him behind the line. That's going to bring up 3rd down. Now after making that catch, we see he's shaken up. Trainer's heading out to take a look. Third down, and they need to get 10. They'll throw, 3rd and long. This is Ingram working the left side. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain.
Feet and eyes, Kate. Feet and eyes. They so often tell the story of every position on the field. When that quarterback's feet and eyes move to his secondary read, and so often it's a tight end, well, it's incumbent on that defense to fly to the ball. You want to make that tackle, force the 4th down? It took a great defensive effort to do it.
The Chargers returning their offense and this running back to the field. They didn't add to their lead last time out. They punted it away, but still ahead and able to add to it here. Chargers getting set. 1st and 10. Now bring the tight end in motion. 1st and 10. Herbert. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. It arrived as the ball did to break things up. So 2nd down coming up. This is a guy who's used to embracing contact, Brock. Usually makes catches in spite of it, but I guess it's tough for anybody to make a play every time.
Yeah, I think these tight ends today, Kate, spend as much time in the old ice bath as just about anybody. Yeah. And when you don't make that catch and you take the contact, well, that stings like the first seconds in the ice.
He was looking Keenan Allen's way there. And things look tougher now with 3rd and long.
A small little jab there, finally landed by the defense, able to break up one of these passes, but let's be real. We know who's been landing the heavy punches all game long. Looks like they're going to keep being aggressive too, Kate. I love that. Stay on the gas.
On 3rd down, Herbert. He lobs this one up, looking deep to the right side. He drops it. Oh, a huge gain in hand, but he couldn't finish the catch.
Kate, as a quarterback, that is so rough. Incomplete, incomplete, incomplete. You're going to go to the sidelines, you're going to look at that tablet, and you're going to try to figure out how in the heck do we turn this around?
J.K. Scott on the punt. Ooh, baby, there's way too much behind kick, and he knew it. So that's all the way over the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos running their offense out once again. And I'm sure they're tired of bringing out the punter, Brock. They're hopefully going to give him some rest this time around and find some points to go after that lead. First call here coming from the shotgun. Out of the gun, it's Nix. And he let his man just a little too much there. That's an incomplete pass.
Hey, Mr. Quarterback, that's a throw that's got to go somewhere else. Double coverage was waiting for it. Thinking interception to be had, and incompletion still pretty good for the defense.
So at the 20, here's 2nd and 10. Shotgun snap to Nix. He's going to try to drop it in deep right. Well, it would have been a big completion, Brock, if not for that meddling defender who knocked it away. And that sets up 3rd down. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. 3rd and long for him here. And he's going to try another deep one here. He's got it deep downfield. And he's going to take this down to the opposing 44. So that's going to go as a pickup of 36 yards. And it's going to be 1st down Denver.
I try to remind you a time or two, Kate, that you always got to start your read from the secondary forward. You got to see what the safeties are doing. If you're going to throw a ball in the middle third deep downfield like that, you have to have tremendous awareness of where those safeties were. The QB just nailed it.
And he takes it just inside the 40, down to the 39.
A gain of 5.
I feel so bad. I really do. And I don't mean this sarcastically. I feel bad for these guys in coverage. I don't know how you defend some of these players today, because they get that drag route, they get one step inside of you. Well, there's very little you can do other than make the tackle.
Throwing again. Here's Nix. Ooh, would have been a big gainer if they connected, but they could not. Instead, 3rd down coming up.
Well covered on that play. Really not a large window for him to sneak that throw in.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. They'll throw again. Nix. Lost control of another one. And the Chargers think they have it, and they do. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. To the line on 1st and 10. Chargers beneficiaries of some good field position. The give now out of the shotgun. And this drive's quickly headed in the wrong direction. First play set down behind the line. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. Headed in reverse so far. Time to shift into drive. Here's 2nd and 14. Back to throw. Here's Herbert. Dumps it off to his running back. And they're all over that screen, Brock. Didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards the Charger, who's still on the field and in some pain. Broncos bringing out an extra DB on third down. Working from the gun here, it's Herbert. Caught deep behind the line. Oh, the ball is out! But the Chargers were the first to get to that one, so it'll stay with them. Well, they scramble back on top of the fumble. They lose a ton, though, and now they've got fourth down coming up.
Yeah, recovering it really only brought you one more play. With how much they lost on that play, well, here come the special teams. And now, well, now they got to be special.
Scott out now to punt this one away. And he's been getting all of it every time out. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to.
20-yard line.
Broncos to the line now. It's 1st and 10. Out of the gun, they'll give it to him inside. And there's the stop, but he's got 9 yards on 1st down. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Well, after a quality effort on the last play, just really need to fall forward here to pick up that 1st down. He loses the football. Picked up by the Chargers. Nothing doing on the return, but the damage already done, partner. They take it away on the fumble. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos had a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. New set of downs for him from the 31. On 1st down, they'll run. And they'll stop him after he picks up 4 to begin this drive. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. They'll come up after that 4-yard gain. It's 2nd and 6. Another carry for him. Has some space inside the 15. And there's the stop after he drives this down to the 13. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. So a new set of downs. Here we go. 1st and 10. Patterson running to the left. And he runs this one in. Touchdown, Los Angeles. The Chargers grow their lead off the turnover. Well, he found himself some space to work, and from there, all athleticism as he made his way in for 6.
You know, you run the ball down in the red zone, Kate, you're not always thinking touchdowns, right? Space is so hard to come by. But you're exactly right. His athleticism, his explosion, his speed It puts 6 on the board for the offense.
Dicker on now for the PAT.
For the extra point.
Right down the middle. It's good. And the Chargers continue piling on to this lead.
Broncos nothing. Dicker
all lined up and ready to boot it away. On the return, here's Mims. Shoots away from one. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25-yard line. The Broncos and this running back headed back out for a new series. And Brock, I know the goal is always points every drive, but I think just as big a goal, got to play clean football here. You cannot give it away for a third consecutive possession.
Yeah, we call that rebuilding some confidence in yourself as a group, right? Just to execute without the mistakes. Pros, you can shake off a turnover with ease, but back-to-back, even the seasoned vets have a little trouble getting past that.
Nix with it on first. Gets it to him on the screen. He's taken down just a couple yards shy of the 40. A nice gain of 13 yards as it brings up a first down.
To this day, I can still see the faces of the big guys in the huddle. When you call a screen like that, instead of them just getting knocked backwards, they get to be salesmen. They get to push those linemen downfield and then tee off and go hit somebody like they did right there.
They'll run it from the gun. Oh, he lost the football. And it's scooped up by the Chargers. They won't get much on that return, Brock. Actually might have lost a little ground, but they do gain possession of the football. And after losing a hold of that one, he's still shaken up on the play. So we'll see team personnel out there to tend to him. So the Chargers start off with good field position as they get ready for 1st and 10. Going wide receiver run to start this series. And they blow up the opening play of this drive. Love the aggressiveness from this defense.
Hey, these DNs love to get after the quarterback, but the most well-rounded of them are the guys who can anchor your run defense too. Mission accomplished.
Open ahead in the right direction and save this drive early. Here's 2nd and 13. Shotgun snap to Herbert. Has him on the quick hitter. And he goes out. Just needs one more step there to reach midfield.
Number 1, Quentin Johnston. Out of bounds at his own 49-yard line.
Chance to move the chains here on 3rd and 4. Herbert from the gun. Into the hands of Ganson. And he's going to get this down inside the 30 before he's driven out. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. All right, they look set now. Here we go, 1st and 10. On the carry, this is Najee Harris. Not the way to begin a new set of downs, Brock, as they drop him behind the line. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. They break the huddle. It's second down now. To throw, Herbert. Short pass brought in. And he's got a decent gain before being brought down.
There's no question, Kate, that the big plays down the seam or will make tight ends a fan favorite, but it's those type of catches right there. The short yardage, it gets good coverage, contested catches that really make tight ends a locker room favorite.
Here they come. This is 3rd and 5. They'll work against the blitz. Into the hands of Gadsden. Complete. And this one doesn't go far.
Gadsden the second. A gain of only a yard. It's 4th down.
So with that, Brock, we've now reached our 2-minute warning. More for Mile High in just a moment. The Chargers sending out Dicker the kicker to add 3 to the board. This from 40 on the right hash. Dicker connects there.
The kick.
Big lead gets even larger, Brock, before halftime.
Chargers 40.
Okay, they got the ball off the fumble, and they knew what to do with it when they took over. Just find a way to put points on the board.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away.
The Chargers.
Returning it from the 4. Only manages to get this back to the 20 before he's taken down.
1st and 10.
The Broncos back out on offense. Their running back headed out once again. And the last 2 drives have been teaching tape for that defense, Brock, and probably have earned this offense a lecture in the near future as well. Just haven't been able to take care of that football.
Yeah, I just kind of want to focus on those guys, everything they're doing on that side, because the humble pie this offense is eating, it's been a tough watch.
Nix now on 1st and 10. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete.
Nix's pass.
Fairly safe to say as that one falls incomplete this first half so far. It's not met the standard they set for themselves.
20-yard line.
After the incompletion, 2nd and 10 once again from the 20. Throwing here, Nix. Completed over the middle. And a nice chunk there, about 7. He's up to the 27. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Chargers are going to opt for a 5th DB, 3rd down. To throw, here's Nix. This one's in range, but it gets knocked away. Couldn't connect, and that brings up 4th down.
Incomplete.
Such a big part of that breakup, Kate, or any breakup as a corner, is your positioning relative to the target, and really the timing of it all. You could be in the right spot, but if you don't time it, that ball is still caught at this league. That corner played that one nearly perfectly.
The Chargers are being led back out on offense by Justin Herbert here. And we're all hoping his hot start can continue. He has been putting up some numbers early in this contest. All right, working from the gun to start. 1st and 10. Back now, pressure coming. Dump off caught by his back. And this drive's quickly headed in the wrong direction. First play sat down behind the line. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. Back to the line they go. It's second down. Here's Herbert. Dumped off to his running back. And a nice game here, but it stopped short of the first. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. Let's see what they draw up on this 3rd and 7. Throw here, 3rd down. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. On now comes their punter. And this is the 5th time he's been called upon today. The Broncos offense all set to go. They're trailing, but there's enough time, Brock, that they could get a scoring drive to attack that here before the break. Offense into the shotgun set as they line this up. 1st and 10. Nix from the gun. That one falls to the turf. Couldn't hang on. It's incomplete.
True story, Kate. After practice one time, the head coach in the NFL said, "I'm done with my fault. I'm done with my bad. No more of that tapping on your chest." That was an example of the quarterback delivering a perfect pass. And the receiver, do your job.
Nix again on 2nd and 10. And he's not quite that fast. Let him just a bit too much. That's incomplete.
When offenses that connect in this intermediate zone are so effective. Getting the completion in that area, it not just sparks your offense, but it just turns that aggressive meter way up. They just couldn't quite find the connection.
So after that prior incompletion, it's 3rd down. They'll throw 3rd and long. Nice gain left side. And they'll stop him here, but not before he gets out to the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 27 yards to move the chains.
You know, it sure seems like he knew exactly where he was going with that before the snap. That's a pre-snap decision that led to a post-snap 1st down.
Here's 1st and 10 from the 47. Next to throw again. Oh, someone stepped in. It's intercepted. Derwin James picks it. Well, no surprises here. They decline that holding call, and they're going to hang on to that interception. Ball just a yard shy of midfield. 1st and 10. Shotgun snap. They'll throw. Finds him over the middle. And he's short of the first after a mild gain. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. 2nd and 3 now. Herbert back to throw. And this one's dropped for what would have been a nice game.
Those passes get more and more difficult as you try to get aggressive down the field. Those windows and throwing lanes, Kate, are not open very long, and it only takes a little bit for a throw to be thrown off.
No connection on the last play, and now it's 3rd down. Throwing from the gun here. Complete over the middle. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
They like to say it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. I think that's about the X's and the O's. That's a well-drawn-up completion that nets them a first down.
At the 37-yard line.
We've set it downs from the 37. It's Herbert once more. And this falls incomplete with just 2 seconds remaining.
Yeah, this game, you just can't make it harder than it needs to be. Just get the catch first. Guarantee your yards, and then worry about escaping defenders after the catch.
Cameron Dicker out for the Chargers now to attempt this field goal. It'll be a 54-yarder from the right hash. Fields it, and he's going to run this one back from the end zone. And he's going to get this up to the 26 before being taken down. So a one-sided contest as we reach the break here. Let's head over to Scott Hansen for the EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Kate, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen here, and you never know what you're going to get in the NFL. Sometimes it goes down to the wire. Other times, it's blowout city, like what this game is shaping up to be. But hey, anything can happen, so let's go to the second half. Send it back out to our broadcast team, Kate Scott and Brock Heward.
Thank you, Scott. Great work there. We, on the other hand, didn't have a great first half. Here's hoping things get a little bit closer this time around as we get set for quarter number 3. Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away. On the return, here's Mims. And he's brought down just beyond that 25-yard line. The Broncos with their offense headed out for our first possession of the half. And the turnovers have not helped as they find this game out of reach at the moment here in the 3rd. All right, Denver getting everybody set, so they've got 1st and 10. Here's the lone back on the handoff. And he scampers ahead and gets 2 on the carry.
This offense has now left for some ground to make up a little bit here on 2nd down. After that drive starts with a very minimal gain.
2nd and 8 at the 30-yard line.
Following that little 2-yard run, it's 2nd and 8. Shotgun snap to Nix. It was there, but he couldn't hang on. That's incomplete.
Intended for Cortland
Tried getting it to Cortland Sutton. So they're left facing 3rd and long.
3rd down and
this defense, they had a plan. And they've done an excellent job executing it. Instead of a main character, they've reduced this receiver to a footnote. Kudos to the job collectively on defense.
On 3rd down, here's Nix. He's making a bid for it. And he is hauled down right at that midfield stripe. They get 20 yards out of the play and move the chains.
It's a gain of 20.
As long as these are the results he's getting, they're going to be just fine with him calling his own number. He does such a good job of seeing the field and knowing when it's his time to take it himself.
Coming to the line, this is 1st and 10. Setting him on the dive. Now he continues to find no traction on the ground here, Brock, as they bring him down for no gain.
You want to see the term read and react with a little video in the football dictionary?
At the 50-yard line.
First down run netted him nothing. Here is 2nd and 10. Nick's getting to stretch his legs a little bit here. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Third down, Chargers have 6 DBs out there. Third and long, they're going to throw. And that one's too far in front of them, so now they're facing 4th down.
It has been a tough slog for them to keep it up at any point in this game. And failing to convert on that third down, yet another symptom of the overall illness of the day.
The punter making his way out now. And he's been one of the players of this game. And this is the punt you want every time. He bounces out of bounds and sticks them inside their own 10. The Charger offense making its way to the field. And unsurprisingly, Brock, a great day on the scoreboard so far for him. Has him with the advantage as we move through this third quarter. First call here coming from the shotgun. Blown back in the backfield, and they give it to him. Good little whip there. Looks like about 6. P.J. Locke getting there for the stop. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. Seven yards on that last play, so this is 2nd and 3. Patterson trying this straight ahead. It'll have it up to about the 23-yard line on the play. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. And keep this drive moving, partner. Here's another 1st and 10. A play fake. Now Herbert to throw. Into the hands of Conklin. He'll go down after pushing this up to the 29.
That wasn't going anywhere else on that play. It's one of the ones called specifically for the tight end because they know he's able to get a good release off that play action, and then he gets himself in space to do some damage.
2nd and 3 now. Shotgun handoff. It's on the turf. Ball's there. He lost it. And this one's recovered by the Broncos.
Well, sure, you're looking to try to get a first down on 2nd down. You're trying to create a manageable 3rd down, but I'll tell you what you're not trying to do, ever, is give the ball away. And that's what the offense does to the defense right there.
The Broncos returning their offense and this running back to the field. All the touchdowns have come from one side of the field, Brock. They're still looking for their first points of any kind in a game that has gotten out of hand. So they'll head up here 1st and 10 from the 34. They send a man in motion. On 1st and 10, here's Nix. Has him on the quick hitter. And he pushes this down to the 22-yard line. They'll move the chains after that pickup of 12.
A gain of 12
Good
yards.
offenses. Okay, good play callers know how to utilize their personnel. They know where they wanted them. They wanted them in a route in space where he could make that initial play comfortably, but then go to work after.
Coming to the line for another 1st and 10. Nix. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete.
Intended for
Tried getting it to Cortland Sutton.
Incomplete.
And now they face 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Making it harder than it needs to be right there. Just get the catch first. Guarantee some yards. And then worry about escaping the defenders and getting upfield.
After the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Out of the gun, it's Nix. And it looks great flying through the air, Bronk, but problems on the business end as it falls to the ground. 3rd down coming up. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. No connection on the last play. Now it's 3rd down. Third and long for him here. Completes beyond the marker. And he's going to have the touchdown. We'll see if he gets to keep this, though, Brock. We've got some laundry on the field.
Holding offense.
Would have liked to have kept that big play, but the officials and penalties say no, and it's got to come back. Well, 3rd and 10 was already tough, Brock, but the challenge doubles here. 3rd and 20 now after the holding call. Here he goes, 3rd and long. That one falls to the turf. Go hang on. It's incomplete.
This is why we hear about closing speed so often when you evaluate players. You know, once he senses the pressure, he's getting rid of that ball. It takes a player who can close quickly to get to him before it's released and alter that throw.
On comes Will Lutz in the Broncos field goal unit. Ball spotted on the left hash, 49 yards out. And he missed it. It's no good. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. To the line on 1st and 10. Chargers beneficiaries of some good field position. Here's a dive up the middle. And that carry only nets one on the plunge up the gut. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. Need a better result than that last run. It's 2nd and 8. They go play action. Here's Herbert. That's too far in front, and it's not going to be caught. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Last pass unsuccessful. Let's see what they do on 3rd down. To the air on 3rd and long. And it's incomplete, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
You know, Kate, with the game that they put together, it's surprising to see them really run into any hiccups when they appear. They move the ball very well throughout, just unsuccessful on that 3rd down.
They'll send out the punting unit. And this is going to put them up to 6 punts today.
The Broncos take over.
The Broncos and this running back headed back out for a new series. And they're going to need to play for pride or for something to build on for next week, Brock, because this game seems out of reach, even though we've got a full quarter still to go. Offense showing trips out right as they get set for this 1st and 10. Nix looking to throw. Couldn't connect right side. It's incomplete. Well, he already has himself 1 interception in this game, partner, and throws like that are going to find him another if he isn't careful.
Yep, those are the throws you want to intersperse, kind of sprinkle into your passing game, because if they become the norm and you're constantly thrown into coverage, that's when 1 pick becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, and on and on and on.
Again on 2nd and 10, Nix. It was there, but he couldn't hang on. That's incomplete.
That just goes to show you can't take any completion for granted, even on some of the shortest passes in the game plan.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. They'll air it out on 3rd. Gets it to him on the screen. And he will get to that 30-yard line before they stop him. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Once more, it's Nix. Setting up the running back screen. And this goes out of bounds as we've got a penalty flag in the backfield, Brock. This could be roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer, defense.
Well, you know this better than most, Brock. Screens normally leave some rushers to come free, but still, it's not often you get roughing the passer on one.
No, it isn't, but I think of Tom Brady. To me, not only the greatest QB sneaker in the game, but he was one of the great screen masters, too. He understood how to sell a screen, draw those defenders to him, and like the QB did right there, sometimes they'll even tee off and you get the penalty.
You got a major fistful of jersey on that play, and it's going to end up costing him.
1st down.
Double the distance to go after that holding call. It's now 1st and 20. Throwing again. Here's Nix. And this one too far in front of him. It's incomplete. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. They'll throw again. Nix. No better luck than the last play, Brock, as he just has to get rid of it.
Well, that's one you chalk up to the pressure earning that incompletion. They came in before he could find a target, hit him, altered that last-second attempt to get rid of it.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. Nix from the gun. He's going to loft one deep to the left. And they really went for it on third down, didn't they? But the heave falls incomplete. Now they're facing fourth down.
The issues this offense has been having, well, they extend well beyond third down today. You can just look up that big goose egg on the scoreboard, but now time's not on their side either.
So out now comes the punter. Jeremy Crawshaw, the one who's going to send this away. And that gets out of bounds down inside the 20. Looks to be at about the 17-yard line. The Chargers offense getting set to take over. They were only on the field for 3 plays their prior series, Brock. Let's see what changes they make to take over here. LA bringing the offense to the line. Here's 1st and 10. To throw, Herbert. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. After the incomplete pass, here comes 2nd and 10. On the play fake, it's Herbert. He finds Johnston. And he's going to be escorted out right along that 35-yard line. That play goes for 19 and a new set of downs.
You know, Kate, we'll find teams go to this crossing route concept sometimes a dozen times a game. A lot of times it's for shorter yardage, but sometimes things break in the right coverage for a much bigger impact play, just like that.
He gives to Patterson at the shotgun, and he maneuvers through the middle for a gain of 4.
You know, that's a good run right there. Keep the offense on schedule. If he can average that type of yards per carry, this guy's going to be more than all right with letting him lead the show.
4 yards on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 6. Shotgun snap to Herbert. Another turnover. This time it's an interception. Picked off Alex Singleton. And the Broncos bring it all the way back inside the red zone before he's finally hauled down. And as they celebrate the turnover, we're going to shift our focus to one of his teammates who appears to be injured following that play. Team staff heading out to look at him now. Broncos to the line now. It's 1st and 10. Nix now to throw. And they blow up the opening play of this drive. Love the aggressiveness from this defense. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. All right, here we go. 2nd down. Here's Nix to throw. The shot to the end zone is incomplete. Thought he had a touchdown there. And that's going to leave him with a tough 3rd and long.
You hear defensive coaches preach this all the time about not giving up the big play. Keep everything in front of you. They're going to need to stay vigilant because he's definitely a receiver who can take the lid off of a defense.
They're motion him out of the backfield left. 3rd and long for Nix. Wow, it's free again! Picked up by the Chargers. Space on the right. He's got room. The 30. Gets the 10. And the They come up with a stand in the red zone, Brock, and that defense, you could just tell, they were on a mission, not just to force that fumble, but to do even more damage on that turnover.
I think we can hear the coaches up here in the booth scoop and score. I think you can read the lips of the players on the sideline scoop and score. There was no thought to just fall on that one. It hit the deck, and everybody's eyes looked all the way down the field at the other end zone, and they worked in unison to set up a massive scoop and score touchdown.
Dicker's extra point is up and good. And the Chargers tack on 7 more to their lead.
47, Broncos nothing.
Nice little energy on their sideline after that fumble return scored, and with plenty of energy, he'll send this one away. This one's fielded at the 4-yard line. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. Following the kick return, we've got somebody shaken up, so we're going to get a stoppage here as he's attended to. Starting out trips right here. 1st and 10. Working now from the gun. Short pass brought in. And he's tackled with markers down. This one should be on the defense.
Roughing the passer, defense.
Just a momentary loss of focus. A break in discipline, but not a good moment individually as he gets hit with that personal foul. Roughing the passer on that last play, and that's always going to lead to an automatic 1st down. Running over center with McLaughlin. And he'll cross the 50 and start pushing onto the opposing side of the field. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. First down run, nabs him 5. Now 2nd and 5. Shotgun snap to Nix. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete. It's there, just couldn't corral it. And it'll be 3rd and 5 coming up.
You know, quarterback's going to count on 99 of 100 times completing that short, simple route to a tight end. But even the shortest and simplest of throws, they'll find a drop at some point, too.
Now Nix on 3rd down. And he let his man too much there, Brock. Incomplete. 4th down coming up.
You never ever as an offense like 3 and outs, Kate, but you really don't like them on 3rd down when you throw into tight coverage like that. Got to manufacture a better look.
Punt team on the field. And they could really use a good one here. Somebody give this guy a break as he sends his 10th punt away.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
All right, this is a little bit odd. I think in most spots we'd expect to see them decline the call, take the lost yards and down.
All I can think of here is they've got some extreme confidence, maybe hubris in their defense to make a similar type of play, but just tack on even more negative yards lost.
So the penalty on the return doesn't do them any favors, Brock. A lot more field ahead of them here starting out. This is Patterson on the give. Dropped by the first guy he met. No gain on that 1st down run. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. Well, nothing doing on the last run. It's 2nd and 10. Once again, Patterson drifting ever closer to their goal line as he winds up backwards to his own 5. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Not a good spot to punt from. They really want to convert here on 3rd. Man in motion here. Herbert here, 3rd and long. That one's incomplete. Had the connection, but some stone hands got in the way there.
Man, with how hard it is, Kate, to get these plays down the field, can't let the coverage off the hook with a drop. Just can't happen. But you're going to see it right here. He saw the open space ahead of him and started running before he ever brought the ball fully in.
They're out now, ready to punt it. Not much room, but he's still able to crush it. So here comes the Bronco offense. And they take the field feeling pretty beaten down with how this one's gone. Even if they're keeping their heads high, Brock, not a whole lot they've been able to do so far.
Yeah, in these moments, I think of golfers, right, in a tournament. They don't want to look at the scoreboard. They don't want to see how much they're down. They just want to take it shot by shot by shot. It's exactly what this offense has got to do.
Offense to the line. They're going to have trips right to start out. Nicks off the play action. He's going to keep it this time.
Kate, if you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 100 times. Completions, completions, completions. Well, that wasn't a pass. It was a scramble. But the net's the same thing, keeping this offense on schedule.
Second and 3 now. On a shotgun, they'll give it to him inside. Ooh, they're on that one. Second down's going to end up in a loss of yards. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. So now here's 3rd and 5. Shotgun snap, looking to throw. He lofts it deep right side. Trying to float that one in, and the defender's there for the interception. Derwin James picks it.
That's number 2, Kate, that they got in the picks in this game, and he's got to be careful. Right? You've got to protect the football. It is the greatest treasure you have as an offense. In this defense, well, they've got 2 in their pocket, and you know they're going to be going after number 3.
Out comes the offense now for the Chargers. Their last drive didn't make it very far before they had to punt it away, partner, so hopefully this one has some better legs to it. So the Chargers start off with good field position as they get ready for 1st and 10. Herbert from the gun. And that's incomplete. Wanted to dial up the aggressiveness there like that, but couldn't connect. 2nd down.
Hey, Mr. Quarterback down there, that's a throw that's got to go somewhere else. Double coverage was waiting for it. QB super fortunate that ball wasn't picked. An incompletion, still pretty good for the defense, too.
Ball stays at that 37. Here's 2nd and 10. Back to the air. Herbert. Too much lead on that throw. That falls incomplete ahead of his target.
I'll tell you this, Kate, they doubled him knowing that was where the pass was likely headed. That's doing your homework. A bit surprising QB still threw it in that direction with how well the defense had that one covered.
So after that prior incompletion, it's third down. Throw here, third down. And that one's too far in front of them, so now they're facing fourth down.
I'll say, Kate, that defense looked even better, sharper on third down than they did on second. They played that one so tight there was no window to throw.
They'll bring out the punter here. J.K. Scott will kick it away. And this doesn't just reach the end zone. He kicked that one all the way through it for a touchback. Denver set to take the field on offense. They are coming off their first interception of the game. This drive now a chance to rebuild some confidence. All right, Denver getting everybody set. So they've got first and 10.
Hey, watch him right here. Go.
Not deterred by that pick. He's throwing again. Steps up, and he's running with it. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. New set of downs for him from the 31.
Hurry!
Throwing on first down, Nix. Ooh, he got hit as he was throwing, and unsurprisingly, it falls incomplete. Second down coming up. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. After the incompletion, still at that 31-yard line, second and 10. Out of the gun, it's Nix. He takes it himself. Continuing to move past the 45. And it's scooped up by the Chargers. And they're able to add some extra yards on the return over two as this defense steals away possession.
I'll tell you what, Kate, that was one wild ride. QB does a terrific job. Gets out in the open field, has a big play, and then he's got to watch the other quarterback run on the field as he gives the ball away.
Possession switching back to the LA offense as they head out. And they don't need anything out of this drive right now, Brock. That lead's already been built as we look to the scoreboard, but like architects, they might want to see just how high they can take it.
And we're going to know here in just a second on how they attack these opening plays. Do they opt to take it easy, play conservative, or just keep stepping on that gas?
To the line on first and 10. Chargers beneficiaries of some good field position. The carry by Harris here, start the drive. And this drive's quickly headed in the wrong direction. First play sat down behind the line. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. And they went 3 yards the wrong way to start this drive out. Here's second and 13. Working from the gun here, it's Herbert. Has him on the quick hitter. And he's going to get this up to the 45 before he's brought down.
Quarterbacks will look for their tight end short in just about any situation. They take away the deeper options. Well, there's their consistent source of positive yardage, the trusty tight end.
Wonder what's in the playbook here as they come up on 3rd and 11. Third and long, they're going to throw. He had it for a moment, but a great defense jar it loose, incomplete. Ball and defender arrived at the exact same time there. So that brings up 4th and long. Nice work by the defense on that drive, Brock, as it looks like they're going to get off the field here with a 3 and out.
You kept them from generating any sort of momentum to give this drive legs. We know offenses, they've got to see the chains move to get it going. That forcible hit knocked the ball loose.
And this will fly out of bounds to deny a return. They're going to mark it a little before the 20.
21-yard line.
Denver ready for another offensive possession. And this drive would be a win if they can just hang on to the football, Brock, coming off those back-to-back turnovers. All right, working from the gun to start. 1st and 10. On the draw, it's McLaughlin. And his effort results in maybe 2 yards, but nothing more. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. Last run got him 3. Here's 2nd and 7. Shotgun snap, looking to throw. And he let his man just a little too much there. That's an incomplete pass.
Intended for Troy
Looking for his wide receiver there.
Incomplete.
And now they're going to face 3rd down.
He was covered by Dante
in the
Jackson.
NFL, offensive-minded teams will call it a perfect Friday. They don't want the ball to hit the ground once. And especially on these short to intermediate throws, you got to count on those being efficient and effective.
He's going to loft this deep down the left sideline. That's grabbed inside the 30. It's a huge pickup on the play. And that's good for Broncos' 1st down.
And the Broncos
Speaks to this guy's talent as just an all-around difference maker, playmaker. We see him line up as a receiver, and we don't even bat an eye, Kate. And we don't really bat an eye when he makes that kind of play either. This guy's just different, built for the moment.
Finds him over the middle. Small gain down to the 23. Tuli Pulotu in for the tackle. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. Eight yards to go, and let's see how they approach this 2nd down. Next to throw again. Finds Mims. And he's going to go out with a pickup of 3, so chipping away a few here ahead of this 3rd down.
A gain of 4.
Well, we saw his guys pick up the blitz. Well, he felt them pick it up anyway if he wasn't looking at him. But with their effort on his behalf, I think this QB felt owed to them and the group up front to find somebody to get a completion, so that effort up front wasn't in vain.
Throwing again. Here's Nix. And he let his man too much there, Brock. Incomplete. 4th down coming up.
I've talked to you over the years, the transition to the NFL where the windows to throw are small. On 3rd down, smaller. Put dime defense on the field, and those windows become almost non-existent.
All right, looks like this is the moment they're going to make their comeback push. They're going for it on 4th. They'll throw it again. Nix. And he had it for a second, but unable to hang on. And the possession literally slipped through their fingers as they turn it over on downs. So this one will not get it done. They're going to turn this over on downs. Now LA getting its offense all set to go. LA offense all set. Here's 1st and 10. They'll start with a give to Harris. And the The drive starts out small, just 1 yard on that play.
22, Najee
The only thing
Harris,
I could
the
say
ball
positive
carrier.
about the execution of that
Tackle
play
made at the 21-yard
is
line.
at least he didn't go backwards.
1 yard gain brings up 2nd and 9.
Last run only gained a yard. That means it's 2nd and 9. Running out of the pistol here with Patterson. Nice gain there on 2nd down before they get to him, but we also
Illegal
have a
block from the
flag
back.
down, partner, so let's see if this stands. A game they were pretty happy with goes away via the penalty, and now
Still
we're
second
going to
down.
wait to see how they respond. Offense to the line for 2nd down. Here's Herbert. Jump off caught by his back. And he'll get this up to the 19-yard line as he stops.
Complete to Jared
As an
Patterson.
offense, you don't call a screen, kid,
It's a
expecting
gain
to
of a
gain
yard.
just a few yards.
And
You
it's
call it, expecting to break out
down.
something big and substantial. But it's up to that defense to stay ahead of it, to keep it contained to something much smaller. Case in point right there.
This drive in jeopardy. Here's a 3rd and 10. They'll air it out on 3rd. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete.
We see this all the time. The number one thing you see NFL defenses do to try to force that 4th down, gets down coverage. Put your cover guys on the field. Let the boys up front cut it loose with pressure.
J.K.
And
Scott
let the cover
in punt
guys go shut
formation.
it down.
The Chargers lined up in punt formation. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Offense into the shotgun set as they line this up. 1st and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Nix. Dumps it. Oh, the football's loose. Picked up by the Chargers. And the nightmare continues as they bring the fumble back for a touchdown.
Touchdown, Los
The
Angeles.
Chargers grow their lead off the turnover. Well, Brock, you and I know after that first turnover, they were able to take back. They were looking for another one, and lo and behold, they found it.
You felt it. I felt it.
Yep.
Everybody in the stands felt it. It wasn't just good enough to get the takeaway. They wanted to one-up what they did earlier, and look at the celebration now.
Dicker on now for the PAT.
For the extra point.
Extra point set
His
right
kick
down the
is
middle.
good.
And the Chargers
Makes the
continue
score.
adding on to
Chargers
that
54,
lead.
Broncos nothing. Cameron Dicker to
Still
kick off
reeling a
for
little
the
after
Chargers.
fumbling that away, but they're going to get it right back with this kickoff. Returning it from the 4. And that's going to set them up just beyond
The
their own
Broncos
20.
take over 1st and 10.
The Broncos running their
at their
offense
own
out once again.
21-yard line.
Broncos to the line now. It's 1st and 10. This drive's going to start with a run by McLaughlin. He gets it ahead, lines up with about 3. That's Denzel Perryman in on the stop.
25-yard line.
He'll expect more from himself on those type of plays, but there is nobody that's going to complain about that one. If you can do math, 4 + 4 + 4 equals a first down.
They'll come up after that 4-yard gain. It's 2nd and 6. Nix from the gun. And he's not quite that fast. Let him just a bit too much. That's incomplete. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers, who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. No connection on the last play, and out 3rd down. They'll throw 3rd and long. Has it left side, Brock, but the throw carried him too close to that edge. They're going to say he brought it in out of bounds, and that's going to bring up 4th down. Here comes the Broncos punting unit. And he's hoping for a well-placed strike. I guess he didn't really quite know his own strength there. That kick clears the end zone entirely. It's going to be a touchback. The Charger offense making its way to the field. LA bringing the offense to the line. Here's 1st and 10. They pitch it to him. Can't slip that initial tackle. Stops made for no gain on that 1st down play. The presence of those tight ends works both ways, Brock. You know this. Gives them more blockers up front, but it also clues the defense in to be ready for that run.
Yeah, you could put 7 blockers up there, even put 8, I don't know, 9. All the blockers in the world, but if they don't work in concert together to create a lane, it doesn't matter.
On the play fake, it's Herbert. And this one won't be caught, but we got a flag here. Looked like there may have been some early contact before that throw arrived. So a little too much contact on the part of the defender, and the officials flag him for it. New set of downs for him from the 31. A play fake. Now Herbert's a throw. Short pass caught by his tight end. And he's down after getting this up to the 41.
Dude, I can promise you that's one of those play-action plays they've repped over the week during practice. That both quarterback and tight end went to bed last night thinking, man, I hope this one's called. And when it is, I hope we have just a little space to operate. That play-action works beautifully. And the tight end, the beneficiary.
Shotgun snap to Herbert. That one falls to the turf. Couldn't hang on. It's incomplete. Couldn't connect with Ladd McConkey, but still plenty of options left on 3rd and short.
That play right there, Kate, that just goes to show you, you can't take any completion for granted. Even some of the shortest passes in the game plan.
Trying to sneak is Herbert, and he'll get them enough for a 1st down. One of the tight ends in motion left. On the handoff. Patterson. And it's a nice little chunk here, 6 yards. Tackle made by Chris Abrams-Drain. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. First down run gets him 6, so now it is 2nd and 4. Right back to Patterson now. He's unable to get away from that tackle. Good work by the defense. Nothing gained on 2nd down.
He was taken down.
They sent with that sack in mind, Brock. We all saw what was coming, so managed to clean up the play, even if it did come on the ground.
And you know why they call that a cat pressure from the secondary, Kate?
Tell me.
Because it's a C for corner and AT for attack, exactly what he just did.
Herbert now to throw on 3rd. Just got it away before the hit, but it doesn't matter. It's incomplete. 4th down coming up.
That is just a nice stretch of some reps there defensively. Really one of the areas when you watch college game to the NFL game that there is a vast difference. And that's the tightness of coverage. These windows of opportunity are small, and they could not find a completion.
Punting unit out now. And this one's out of the side of the end zone. Was trying to get that precise aim, but he was off the mark. It's going to be a touchback. The Broncos offense all set to go. And coming off a 3 and out, Brock, they really need to build some momentum from the ground as they try to get on that scoreboard here. All right, Denver getting everybody set. So they've got 1st and 10. From the gun, a carry by McLaughlin. Long play, 1st down, he met. No gain on that 1st down run.
Stopped right at the line, but might as well have been a loss of yards as far as the offense is concerned. It's always humbling when you try force versus force, and the defense wins out.
1st down run netted him nothing. Here is 2nd and 10. Nick's looking to throw. It was there, but he couldn't hang on. That's incomplete. Tried getting it to Cortland Sutton. So now it's going to be 3rd and long.
Okay, I know it's unrealistic to expect a 100% completion rate from anywhere on the field. But in this close, you really shouldn't be missing too many throws. Those need to be borderline automatic.
On 3rd down, here's Nix. Can't find anyone open, and he's forced to throw it away. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play.
Jeremy Crawshaw in punt formation for the Broncos. The Chargers take over.
Chargers offense getting set to take over.
At their own 20-yard
their last drive, not the one they want to replicate after they were forced to punt it away. First call here coming from the shotgun. Now Herbert to throw. Looking slant route complete. And they blow up the opening play of this drive. Love the aggressiveness from this defense.
He specializes in salvaging broken plays out of the backfield, but even he couldn't get anything out of that one, Kate. That defense, they were all over it.
Offense to the line, 2nd down. Herbert from the gun. That's too far in front, and it's not going to be caught. No luck finding his receiver that time. And things look tougher now with 3rd and long.
Can't cover it much better than that. Really well covered, Kate, on that play. There just simply was not a window for him to sneak that throw in.
No connection on the last play. Now it's 3rd down. 3rd and long for him here. Connecting on the slant. And this is going to come to an end right at the 32-yard line. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. First and 10 from the 32. Patterson trying this straight ahead. And they'll bottle this up after a 4-yard gain. Talanoa Hufanga there to make the play.
This is a guy who, man, when he is in a group, when he is feeling it, you're just not going to bring him down with an arm tackle. You better buckle up. You need a textbook tackle on this guy. Wrap, grab some cloth, and drive him to the ground with all you got.
And this one too far in front of him. It's incomplete. Looking for his wide receiver there. And it'll be 3rd and 5 coming up.
Those passes get more and more difficult as you try to get aggressive downfield. I love the call. I love pushing the ball down the field. But the windows in the throwing lanes aren't there long. And it only takes a little bit for a throw to be off.
From the gun on 3rd, it's Herbert. And as that one winds up incomplete, it brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Thankfully, only 1 quarter to play now. We've reached the end of 3 in this lopsided affair. The Chargers have possession and a massive lead. This one looking like it could be over.
J.K. Scott in punt formation.
Baby, there's way too much behind that kick, and he knew it. That's all the way over the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos and quarterback Bo Nix gearing up for their next series. And this is the type of game that's going to get people talking when people look at the numbers that he's posted running with it. Broncos to the line now. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's McLaughlin. And this is brought to a stop up at the 34-yard line there. Pick up 14 yards on that one. And it's going to be 1st down Denver.
A run like that, Kate, it just gives everybody a little bit more bounce offensively because you also know it can set the table for more.
So they'll head up here 1st and 10 from the 34. There's the fake. Here's Nix. Falls to the ground out left. Incomplete. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. Ball still on that 34-yard line, 2nd and 10. That one inside handoff, McLaughlin. And he is stopped as he reaches that 46-yard line. And it's a gain of 12 on that one. And that's good for a Broncos 1st down.
That's just not the guy defensively you ever want in the open field. Frankly, with the amount of space he had at one point, They're lucky to have limited to the gain they did.
1st and 10 now from the 46. Play action with Nix. It's incomplete. Should have been a catch downfield, but off his hands and to the ground it goes. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. Second down, still 10 to go after that incomplete pass. Shotgun snap to Nix. Excellent protection so far. And he's got it. Touchdown, Denver. The Broncos putting up points in a game decided. It's a Troy Franklin touchdown.
First thing you do as a quarterback, the first thing that you do when you get to the NFL level, if you haven't learned it earlier, is you scan those safeties. Do I got middle field open or close? Do I got a single high or too high? Is that post going to be available? Because if it is, big plays can follow.
Will Lutz now on for the extra point. And that one is no good. Didn't even come very close to sneaking that one in, so leave that score as is. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. So after the missed extra point, he's still out there, and he's going to put it back in play. On the return, here comes Davis. They'll bottle him up just as he gets it to the 30. Out comes the offense now for the Chargers. And they had to wave that white flag on their last drive, Bronk, hoping to avoid having to call that punter this time out.
Yeah, you get several chances a game, on average, somewhere around 10 possessions, and you know not all of them are going to pan out. So you got to forget what lies behind and keep pressing on to the journey ahead.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Up the middle, here goes Patterson. And this drive's quickly headed in the wrong direction. First play sat down behind the line. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. Run lost him a yard to begin the drive. Here comes 2nd and 11. Working from the gun here. It's Herbert. Completed over the middle. And he's tackled after gaining a handful.
You know, Kate, over the years, I've heard defensive coordinators say, hey, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. You got to earn the right for me to call blitzes. And when you call a blitz and you don't get home and you don't hit the quarterback, you've earned nothing.
Let's see what they draw up on a 3rd and 7. Throw here, 3rd down. And there's a man there. It's intercepted. That's P.J. Luck. And the Broncos get it back as he intercepts him for the 2nd time this game. Now we'll see the medical team head out towards a Charger who's still on the field and in some pain. All right, Denver getting everybody set. So they've got 1st and 10. Hand up. Oh, he loses the football. And the Chargers think they have it, and they do. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Chargers getting set. 1st and 10. This is Patterson on the give. Can't slip that initial tackle. Stops made for no gain on that 1st down play.
Okay, this is why you got to be careful to just run it always on 1st down. You got to break your tendencies. The casual fan, well, that casual fan knew what was coming, but more importantly, this defensive front did too.
Last run, not a lot of help, Brock. 9 to go now on 2nd down. Back to throw. Here's Herbert. Too much lead on that throw. That falls incomplete ahead of his target. Well, even with the pick on that last drive, partner, he is showing no hesitation whatsoever.
Well, in order to play this game, Kate, at this level, you've got to be aggressive. You can't let a previous mistake really affect your next decision. But I'll say this as well. In the NFL, you throw into coverage too many times, there are going to be more interceptions.
On 3rd down, Herbert. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. Couldn't connect with Ladd McConkey. And they're going to be stuck with a 4th and long.
Well, that took some force right there. That took some serious defensive effort to force the incompletion. You're not going to see a lot of guys ever let go of a football when they got a 1st down right in their midst. But that force, that contact, separated man from ball.
And this one never had a shot. It's well over the goal line and the end zone entirely, and that'll be a touchback. The Broncos and Troy Franklin headed back to the field on offense. And the turnovers, Brock, a big reason they have played themselves out of this one. Hopefully they can keep it clean here, if nothing else.
Yeah, well, this drive isn't pertinent to this game maybe anymore, Kate. This drive is for next week. They just want something positive here to end the game and carry forward into the practices ahead.
All right, working from the gun to start. 1st and 10. On the handoff, this is McLaughlin. And a nice chunk there, about 7. He's up to the 27.
That run may not have gotten you a first, but sure, nice little run to set the table.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 28-yard line.
Nice run last play. Sets up 2nd and 2. I'll go to McLaughlin again. Defender gets to him right around the line. It's going to be marked as no gain. So, Brock, that means 3rd down coming up. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. All plays on the table here for 3rd and 3. To throw, here's Nix. They're trying to set up the screen. They get to him behind the line, and he loses the football. And the Chargers think they have it, and they do. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. LA offense all set. Here's 1st and 10. Hits him on the out route. And he's out of bounds inside the red zone, just short of the 15.
Hey, Kate, you know this from covering the Seahawks, calling their preseason game. When Pete Carroll was there, if he said it once, he said it 100 times. Stay on top, stay on top, stay on top. You'll give up a short little out route like that, but just stay on top of the deep threat.
On the carry, it's Patterson. And he's taken down as they very quickly get into 1st and goal. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. Offense in position now. It's 1st and goal. Herbert now off the play fake. He's got a man left. And that right there is the start of what could be a goal line stand. They hit him for a loss on 1st and goal.
Brings up 2nd and
Well, there was never a play in any playbook I ever saw designed for a lost yardage play when you throw the ball. But if there's any solace, at least it was 1st down. A couple more chances to make up for it.
They go play action. Here's Herbert. That one's complete over the middle. And he's able to get it to the 2 before the stop.
When you see play action, do all you can to get your eyes to the tight end, because that's their bread and butter. That play action gives him time off the line, helps chip a rusher, or even helps sell that fake. And then when he releases, he gets out, he gets some leverage. He gets to that edge before the defender can cover him.
Calling his own number here on 3rd and goal. And he's in for the touchdown. The Chargers running him out of the building. Justin Herbert with the touchdown. Well, we all knew somebody was running with it there, and when the defender started flowing towards the back, he made the right call that he would be the one to run it in.
Yeah, he sure did. I think if he hands that off, this play does not end in a touchdown, but in a collision for his running back.
Yeah.
So not only is that running back thanking his quarterback, the rest of the guys are celebrating for that decision.
Dicker on now for the PAT. The point after splits the uprights. And they'll continue adding to their lead.
61, Broncos 6.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away. On the return, here's Mims. He stopped on the run back of the 27. So here comes the Bronco offense. And all game they have struggled to attack this deficit. Maybe they can do a little window dressing here. Broncos to the line now. It's 1st and 10. They go left side with McLaughlin. Up the sideline, past the 40. And he's finally brought down at the 45-yard line. Give him an 18-yard pickup there. And it's going to be 1st down, Denver.
Okay, to run like that, just everybody gets to breathe. Things become so much easier when you start a drive with momentum like that.
Just one play into this drive, and they are already sitting on their own 45. Read option on 1st down. He's going to keep it. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. So 1st down from the 41.
Watch the back on his leg.
Running over center with McLaughlin. And as they bring him down, let's check the penalty flag.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So they catch the illegal block in the back, Bronk, and that's rare that we see the clipping call. It's a dangerous play. It's rightfully going to back up this offense. So the penalty backs him up. Here's a 1st and 20. Out of the gun, it's Nix. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete. Pride getting it to Cortland Sutton.
Incomplete.
So now it's 2nd and long.
It's now 2nd down and 20.
Nicks from the gun. That one falls to the turf. Couldn't hang on. It's incomplete. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him.
Pick it up. You're embarrassing us.
Last pass unsuccessful. Let's see what they do on third down. Here he goes, third and long. And the streak continues. Another one hits the ground. Now, after delivering that ball, we see some discomfort out there. So here come the trainers to take a look at him. On now comes their punter. And he'll try to hit this one well. This punt out of bounds on the fly. We're waiting for the mark. Looks like they're going to say it's short of the 30. Possession switching back to the LA offense as they head out. They were able to say mission accomplished on their last series, finding that end zone. But the work, well, it starts all over again right now.
And you know this, Kate, from our years together of doing this. I'm a firm believer of call it till they stop it. It doesn't mean you have to innovate right away. Call the same plays until they stop them, because they proved last drive they couldn't.
Tight end in motion right. The give to Patterson out of the shotgun. That's an 8-yard chunk to start this one. That brings up second and 2.
While that run may not have moved the chains, Kate, that is such a confidence builder. Sets the tone for more play action, maybe more runs. That's exactly how you want to start a drive.
After that little 8-yard scoot, here comes second and 2. Once again, Patterson. And that short gain is enough for a new set of downs. We'll get an injury stoppage. That's one of the Chargers who's pretty shaken up and being tended to. Markers are reset. Here we go. Ball at the 44. From the gun, they go with Harris. And he's only able to power this forward for about 3 yards.
They'll come away happy getting that type of output on most run plays. It's a sign they're getting some good push up front, and this running back is seeing the lanes and paying them off.
4 yards on that first down run. Here's second and 6. Staying on the ground with Harris. He's unable to get away from that tackle. Good work by the defense. Nothing gained on second down. Their dominance against his ground game rolls on, Brock. Add another stop to what's going to be some real nice film for them to watch.
How many times do you think in your lifetime, Kate, you've heard from a defensive coordinator, job number 1 is?
Stop the run.
And they've been doing it.
They'll throw. Third and long. Finds him over the middle. And not much doing. He stopped quickly.
Those little short throws, they are high percentage and certainly bread and butter. But they really run the risk of a quick tackle just like that and being stopped short of the sticks.
The punter making his way out now. And he's going to try to give his defense a long field to defend. And that kick will get out of bounds without a return. Looks to be a little shy of reaching the 20. Denver set to take the field on offense. And there is room for improvement from that previous drive. Stalled out, necessitated a call to that punt team.
Yeah, and in these situations, I always love reminding the offense that first down. Just move the chains the first time to get yourself in the rhythm, because you don't want to see that punter anytime soon.
Getting a pistol formation here first as they come to the line. This drive's going to start with a run by McLaughlin. Dropped by the first guy he met. No gain on that first down run. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Last run only gained a yard. That means it's 2nd and 9. Throwing now out of the shotgun. It was there, but he couldn't hang on. That's incomplete. Looks like a bit of a concentration drop on that one. So they're left facing 3rd and long.
I love the thought there and the idea. Get your guy in space. But he can't make anything happen until he catches it cleanly first.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. 3rd and long. They're going to throw. Dumps it off to his running back. Great job rallying to the football. They get him down right at the marker. 4th down.
I'm a big fan of the screen pass. Really, you can run a screen as they just showed on any play. 1st, 2nd, 3rd down, sometimes even 4th. But it takes great acumen, a great football IQ defensively to have an awareness it's coming, and then more importantly, to stop it.
And things just seem to keep snowballing for them. Now their special teams is involved. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The Chargers back out on offense. Their running back headed out once again. And they'll try for better results this time around, Brock, after they had to punt it away last time out. LA bringing the offense to the line. Here's 1st and 10. This is Patterson. And some excellent work to drive them all the way up past the 30-yard line. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. So they'll head up here 1st and 10 from the 34. Running behind center with Harris. Can't slip that initial tackle. Stops made for no gain on that 1st down play.
I've talked to running backs over the years, Kate, and the transition from the college game to the pro game. They'll tell you, there's just times in the NFL you got to run into darkness. You run into a lot of bodies. Perfect example of that in the 1st down play.
Shotgun snap to Herbert. And they're going to tag a defender with this one.
Pass interference. Defense.
And it's as we expected, partner. We call pass interference, so put it at the spot and give them that 1st down. The penalty erases an exciting turnover, makes it 1st and 10. They'll run here, follows the penalty. His progress is stopped, but a nice 5-yard gain before it was. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. So gain of 5 on that 1st down. Let's see if they can repeat that performance now here on 2nd. Harris once more. And their next snap is going to come from the red zone, Brock. He's down to that 17-yard line. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. Offense getting set. Here's 1st and 10. Now an inside handoff to Harris. You got him a good handful there as it brings up 2nd down.
I'm not kidding you, Kate. A run of that length at the NFL level, honestly, is the equivalent of a run of 15-plus at the high school level. It's hard in the run game to make yards, and they just got a very successful one.
Run picks up 6, so that means it's 2nd and 4. Before the snap, some early movement. Let's see which side
Neutral
gets
zone
sacked with the
infraction.
penalty.
Defense.
He thought he had the timing down and could make the play, but just a hair too early.
Automatic 1st down.
So now then, after the penalty, this is 1st and goal. To the air this time, Herbert to the end zone, but incomplete. He couldn't get it. That's going to set up 2nd and goal.
Incomplete. Brings up 2nd and goal.
Here's Herbert. Short throw is dropped. This one's incomplete.
I think everybody on the offense was already thinking about the next play to run as they watch that short little throw to the tight end. You really don't expect to see many of those gimmies dropped.
3rd and goal now as they try to pile on further. Now Herbert to throw. And it's incomplete on 3rd and goal. That throw doesn't lead to 6. And that forces them to 4th and goal. So a bit stubborn there, Brock. They just kept throwing for it after pass fell incomplete. Now they've got 4th and goal.
Yeah, and you and I both know what's going to happen when these old linemen run off the sidelines, big fellas. They're not going to be too happy about not putting one run on the board.
No, sir. Dicker connects there. And the lead continues to grow and grow.
Get another shot across the bow of a ship that's already sinking here, Kate. He could have made that field goal. Heck, he could have turned around and kicked it directly at his coach because it feels like they've got this one in hand.
Dicker all lined up and ready to boot it away. Has this at the 6. He's brought down at what looks like the 24-yard line.
The Broncos take
Denver
over
ready for another
10
offensive possession.
at their own 24-yard line.
All right, Denver getting everybody set, so they've got 1st and 10. Gun, a carry by McLaughlin. Oh no, he lost control of another one! And it's scooped up by the Chargers! And the nightmare continues as they bring the fumble back for a touchdown! The Chargers continue adding to an insurmountable lead! Step 1 is just making the hit, Brock. Step 2, trying to knock the football out with that hit, and they were even fortunate enough to get to step 3, weren't they? Taking that fumble all the way back for a touchdown.
And just look at them. I love the joy. A unit that doesn't get to celebrate in the end zone all too often, they will welcome the chance to be the guys running it in for a change. Cue up the group celebration, and boys, go enjoy the moment.
Dicker on now for the PAT.
For the extra point.
Right down the middle, it's good. And they'll continue adding to their lead. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. Nice little energy on their sideline after that fumble return scored, and with plenty of energy, he'll send this one away. Return coming from the 6. And he's going to make this to the 28 before going down.
First and 10.
The Broncos running their offense out once again. Broncos to the line now. It's first and 10. Running this with McLaughlin. And he gets up for a gain of about 4. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. They'll come up after that 4-yard gain. It's second and 6. Here's Nix. And they're going to bring him down just a moment before he's able to break it across midfield.
It's a gain of 14 yards.
They'll get 14 yards and a new set of downs. And for somebody who's been picked off like he has, Brock, you got to admire his determination to keep attacking these coverages.
Yeah, that is risk. Right into double coverage yet again. But this guy's got what I call a high belief factor in himself.
First and 10. He keeps it on the option. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. First down from the 42. Throwing here, Nix. Dump off, caught by his back. That screen sniffed out quickly, shut down behind the line.
I know coordinator and quarterback going to be upset with that first down because you call a screen on first, you're thinking stay ahead of schedule. Even a minimal gain to stay on pace, but instead, that defense creates a negative play and sets them back behind the sticks.
Throwing from the gun. That one falls to the turf. Couldn't hang on. It's incomplete. Now we see after that play, one of the Broncos having a little bit of trouble out there. They're going to head out to look at him. So after that prior incompletion, we've got third down. Third and long for him here. And that one's incomplete. For now, he brings up fourth. Let's see what this penalty flag is all about.
Holding offense.
Tempting to perhaps take the yards and run third down again, partner, but they decline it. That's going to bring up fourth down.
So
out now comes the punter. Jeremy Crawshaw, the one who's going to send this away. And he can't hurt you with the return if you just kick it out of bounds, right? So this one flies out right around the 15-yard line. Now L.A. getting its offense all set to go. They have been automatic scoring in this quarter, and yet another opportunity to do so here. Chargers getting set. 1st and 10. A play fake. Now Herbert to throw. Look at that power. Deep left side. And they can't connect on the deep look. Still a couple of snaps to play with, though, here. We've got 2nd down.
It's now 2nd and 10.
That's a major missed opportunity right there. Coverage can breathe a little sigh of relief. They dodged a bullet. Time to adjust and get some extra help on the back end to take away those open shots downfield.
2nd and 10 now. Herbert. Great coverage all the way to the sideline. They're on him to end that quick pass before he can get vertical.
That just might be a throw he regretted as soon as you let it go. I know that feeling. He was doing all he could to find a completion down the field, but they were all over that check down and ready to turn it into a negative play.
Broncos go with a dime look here on 3rd down. To the air on 3rd and long. And this one's dropped for what would have been a nice game. Couldn't connect with Ladd McConkey. And now they're staring at 4th and long.
Well, that's a major missed opportunity for the offense and a sigh of relief for the defense. Now you got to adjust a little bit, get some extra help on the back end of your defense to take those shots away.
The
Broncos offense all set to go. They struggled to produce on that last series, but better results ahead as they take possession here. All right, Denver getting everybody set. So they've got 1st and 10. From the gun, here's McLaughlin. Robbed by the first guy he met. No gain on that 1st down run.
New set of downs is not off to a real good start here, Gates. And I know every yard counts in this league, but that lone yard, it's not going to really change what they're thinking about doing here on 2nd down.
Last run, not a lot of help, Brock. 9 to go now on 2nd down. Here's a look for next. Wow, it's free again! But the Broncos will get it back. Heads up play to recover that one. They push it forward for a yard. That brings up 3rd and 8.
A 1-yard pickup.
Ooh, so close to a big play defensively there, Brock. But now these guys got to stay out there. They were unable to bring in the fumble. They just forced.
They do. Got to bring a little bit of juice, but kind of like a boxer when they get a guy cut, they know. Man, if I get that first cut, I can make them bleed. And you get that ball out the first time, I guarantee you, I promise you, those guys are thinking they'll get it the next.
Getting that to Pat Bryant. And that brings up 4th and long.
Incomplete.
So often, so many of these games in the NFL, well, they come down to a play or two, and 3rd downs are critical. Whether it's in a close game or already out of hand, their coach wants to see them convert those.
They'll send out the punting unit. And they could really use a good one here. And another mistake for them here. This punt had way too much on it. It's into the end zone for a touchback. The Charger offense making its way to the field. It sure seems like they've been able to score every time they've touched it this quarter, Brock. So high hopes again for this upcoming series. Offense into the shotgun set as they line this up. 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, give to Vidal. Can't slip that initial tackle. Stops made for no gain on that 1st down play. Looks like we'll have a pause here. An injured Bronco out there and in some pretty obvious pain after that play. First play of the drive, lost a yard. Need to get it back and some change here. 2nd down. Herbert from the gun. Has him on the quick hitter. And it's good yardage, but they tackle him short of the sticks. That brings us to the 2-minute warning here in Denver. Chargers put this one away a long time ago. A 3rd down run with Harris. Tried to plow ahead for the first. Can't even get back to the line. That brings up 4th down.
Behind the line of
Well, the extra blocking sure didn't spring that run the way they hoped it would, Brock.
In the old West Coast system, you called 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, Tiger. Tiger package comes on the field. That was a whole lot more like a kitty cat effort there.
Punt team on the field. And believe it or not, Brock, that's a new NFL record as he gets his 17th punt away.
The Broncos take
so here
over
comes the Bronco offense.
And
they'll get one final chance in a game that, to put it mildly, Brock, has been a bit of a miserable experience for him. Broncos to the line now. It's 1st and 10. Nick's now to throw. Looking slant route, complete. He hits him for a gain of 6. He's up to the 26.
That's what you call efficiency. Exactly what you're looking for in first down. Textbook. It sets up second and very manageable, and it creates that space if you want to take a shot downfield.
2nd and 3 now. Nick's looking to throw. Setting up the screen. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
At that down and distance, this group was pretty confident the screen would get him enough yards for the first, and it did. And so long as it keeps working like that, I bet you it'll be a go-to play for them when they need it the next time.
1st and 10 from the 32. That one inside. Loses it again. And the Chargers think they have it, and they do.
Well, this just can't happen on first down. It really can't. I mean, ball security is a premium on every down, every distance. But on first down, it is especially a killer.
The Chargers offense getting set to take over. And even with 3 timeouts left on the other sideline, they have this one wrapped up. We'll see if they even use those timeouts. So they'll head up here 1st and 10 from the 34. Here's a give to Vidal. Hit right at the line, and that is where he is stopped. So no gain on first down.
So close to a big loss of yards for those guys up front. 1 second sooner, and they got a tackle behind the line. But a stop to celebrate nonetheless.
Well, nothing doing on the last run. It's 2nd and 10. So the Chargers take this one on the road. And with the start they had in that first quarter, Bronk, it is no surprise to see them come away with a victory at the end. They really did all they could to put this out of reach early.